This is the epilogue of How to Teach a Dragon Curse. I love the epilogues. The epilogues, you notice the story is written about Hiccup when he was a boy, but the story started and ended by Hiccup as an old man looking back on his childhood. And I do that on purpose because it makes you reflect on what's happened in the story. Epilogue by Hiccup, horrendous haddock, the last of the great Viking heroes. I guessed, but never knew for sure what had happened in that strange frozen moment in my childhood when the Doomfang stole my potato. But many years later, when I was a tall young man in command of my first ship and we were just returning home from some wild and dangerous adventure, we suddenly realised that we were being followed by something. For days and days it followed us, always staying at the same distance behind the boat. I spent hours up the mast watching the black pinprick on the horizon and trying to work out what it was, whale or shark or dragon monster, friend or foe, with some nagging feeling at the back of my mind that this was something I recognised from somewhere in my past. It wasn't until we entered the sullen sea that the creature came right up close. It was immediately clear from its glossy, dark colour that it was a Doomfang. It didn't attack us, as I had been secretly training, but it began to play with the boat, swimming alongside, diving underneath and coming up the other side, getting nearer and nearer with each circle that it made. This is common enough behaviour in dolphins, which is actually wonderful. If you've ever been in a boat with dolphins playing with it, it's wonderful. And even in humpback whales, who are fascinated by boats and will play like this for hours. But it is hugely unusual in a Doomfang. Doomfangs normally have the same attitude towards humans that we have towards insects. They loftily ignore us. But this Doomfang was different. Even though it was clearly a fully grown animal, at least 5 times as long and as big as our ship, it played with us like a child, swimming round and round the boat. And finally, the great creature gave a mighty thrash with its tail and soared out of the water, spreading wide its wings. It jumped right over the ship, just clearing the mast, and my warriors gasped in awe and fear and amazement and wonder as the great long body blocked out the sun. And I gasped too, for I recognised the animal at last. It was my Doomfang, not slain, not dead, not gone away, but in the very pink of health. It seemed rather pleased with itself and with me. For when it entered the water on the other side, the great Doomfang tucked its legs up neatly and entered the water at exactly the right angle, so it would not cause a single ripple to rock our little boat. And when the creature came alongside, so close now that we could reach out and touch its glistening raven sides, it sprawled onto its back and moved its wing almost like it was waving, and its terrible mouth seemed to be grinning at me. That very same Doomfang has followed my boat ever after, not like a doom or a curse, but more like a guardian angel. I have lost count of the times when I have been out at sea in the most dreadful peril, for we Vikings lead dangerous and exciting lives, and just at the moment when all hope is lost, that Doomfang has appeared. The Doomfang has steered my boat through the great storm that drowned 1,000 ships in the restless West Sea. It has rescued me from shipwreck on Cannibal Isle. It has fought great monsters that had my ship wrapped around with their squid's tentacles like a cat's cradle. It has returned the favour I once did it of saving its life in a cold, cold world 100 times over. It is following me still, even though I don't need rescuing so much now. I am old and slow as a great sea turtle, and my hair is as white as a semi-spotted snowpecker. You can cheat a dragon's curse. You do not have to accept the hand that fate has dealt you. Look at me, the skinniest and most unlikely Viking ever, now known as this great hero all around the world. Again and again I have the same dream. Norva the Nutjob has thrown the axe high, high into the air. It is turning round and round, and the dark side is going to plunge into the ground first. Bad luck will follow, and the tribe will be doomed. Again and again I make the same leap. I dodge the bright and dark murderous blades. I catch the axe before it lands. I make my own luck. If all of this had happened, the potato would still be struck frozen on a hysteria of no use to anybody, instead of which I buried the arrow which saved my life in some muddy ground behind my house. A miracle of miracles! A single seed must have been sticking to the metal. But some time later, in the springtime, I noticed a strange green plant in that particular spot, and I dug the arrow up again. A new potato, larger than the one that I had lost, had grown right around the arrow's point. From that new potato, I grew more potatoes, and now there are potatoes growing all over Buck and the whole of the archipelago, and not a single person or dragon has died a terrible death from fourpence stings ever since. The potatoes are also rather delicious when they are cooked, either mashed or just plain with a little dollop of melted butter. But more importantly still, if I'd never gone on the quest for the frozen potato, I would never have saved the life of my good friend Fishlegs, who, although some people thought of him as a little weirdo, was the best and truest friend a Viking ever. Hang on a second. You see how confusing all of this is. I didn't save the life of my good friend Fishlegs after all, did I? Because Fishlegs was never ill in the first place. I saved myself. And there's a picture of the potato growing in the ground. So that's a thought, isn't it? And then it says, what happens next? Okay, Will Norbert the Nutjob set out, because this is not the end, by the way. There's quite a lot of other books to go. Will Norbert Nutjob set out on a quest to go back to America. I bet he does. And indeed, does this land called America really exist? And is the world really a circle that has no end? And what has happened to Alvin the treacherous, Hiccup arch enemy, who we rather hoped had been killed when he dropped from a hot air balloon into a sea boiling with ravenous shark worms? I can't think how he might have got out of that tricky situation. But I have a nasty feeling in the pit of my stomach that Hiccup hasn't seen the last of these two mad, wicked and dangerous villains, both of whom have sworn to kill him. Watch out for the next volume of Hiccup's memoirs, which is called How to Twist a Dragon's Tail. So I'll be reading that next. Okay. And it says, yes, the prophecy of the king's lost things. Hiccup has found the ticking thing and the arrow from the land that does not exist. Look, he's got 2 of them in this adventure. He now has 5 of the king's lost things. Will he discover them all? Find out in his next adventure, How to Twist a Dragon's Tail. But that's for another day.